The rooftop of Chung Enterprises' Hong Kong tower shimmered like a jewel against the city's neon-drenched skyline, its glass railings catching the kaleidoscope of lights from Victoria Harbour below, where ferries traced silver paths through the dark water. Chandeliers hung like frozen fireworks, casting golden beams across a sea of tailored suits, glittering gowns, and diamonds that winked with the arrogance of wealth. The air buzzed with the clink of champagne flutes and the low hum of power deals being whispered among Hong Kong's elite, gathered for the Chung family's annual gala, a spectacle to unveil a $1 billion partnership with Okoye Global Investments, a deal poised to redefine the tech giant's dominance in Asia's green energy sector. At the center of the crowd stood Dr. Amara Okoye, a Nigerian-British woman whose emerald gown flowed like a river, its simplicity a stark contrast to the ostentatious displays around her. Her gold cufflinks gleaming with understated precision, each engraved with a Yoruba symbol for wisdom. Her presence was a quiet force, her dark eyes scanning the room with the clarity of someone who had navigated boardrooms and battlegrounds alike. But the atmosphere shifted abruptly when Victoria Chung's voice cut through the chatter like a shard of ice. "Excuse me," she said, her tone sharp enough to halt conversations, her perfectly manicured hand gesturing toward Amara. "I don't recall your name on our guest list." Heads turned, silk dresses rustling, as the crowd parted to reveal Victoria, her diamond earrings flashing like warning signals, flanked by her parents, Richard and Eleanor Chung, and her younger brother Ethan, whose smirk was already framed by the phone he held, streaming live on WeChat with a caption that read, "Gatecrasher alert, number Chung Gala." Eleanor, her jade necklace glowing under the chandeliers, added with a practiced smile, "This event is for invited guests only, dear." Richard, the patriarch and CEO of Chung Enterprises, signaled two security guards in black suits, their earpieces crackling softly. His Patek Philippe watch catching the light as he said, "Let's sort this out quietly." The words were polite but laced with an assumption that Amara, a black woman in their gilded world, was an intruder, a mistake to be swept away before the gala's main event. Amara met their gazes, her expression unshaken, her gold clutch steady in her hand as if it held not just her essentials but the weight of an empire. "Perhaps you should check again," she said, her British, Nigerian accent crisp, each syllable a deliberate step in a dance she had clearly rehearsed. The crowd tightened, sensing drama, their phones lifting discreetly, a tech heiress in a red gown whispering to her companion, "This'll go viral." Ethan's WeChat stream hit 5,000 viewers, comments flooding in, "Who's she? Security time! Kick her out!" Victoria's laugh was like breaking glass, sharp and performative. "No mistake," she said, her eyes narrowing. "Our events have standards, and I'm certain you're not on the list." The accusation hung heavy, its subtext clear. Amara's presence, her blackness, didn't fit the Chung's vision of their elite circle. Ethan's stream surged to 10,000, his followers lapping up the content gold as he zoomed in on Amara's calm face. Richard adjusted his cufflinks, his voice carrying the weight of decades in boardrooms. "Invitations can be faked," he said, the implication stinging, suggesting not just error but deceit. Amara's lips curved into a faint smile, the kind that promised a storm. "I can verify its authenticity," she said, reaching into her clutch with the grace of a chess master moving a queen. She produced a gold-embossed invitation, its edges crisp, the Chung Enterprises logo gleaming under the chandeliers. A guard, his face stern, examined it, his brow furrowing as he muttered into his radio, "It's legitimate, sir." Richard's expression tightened, but he doubled down. "Mistakes happen," he said, his tone implying Amara's presence was the mistake, not the invitation. Eleanor chimed in, her voice syrupy but cutting. "We can't have disruptions tonight. The main elevators are for guests. The service ones are that way." She gestured toward a discreet corner, a public slight that drew gasps from the crowd. Ethan's stream hit 20,000, Comments now a mix of jeers and curiosity. She's got an invite? Chung's look dumb. Amara's smile didn't waver, but her eyes sharpened, locking onto Richard's. No need for service elevators, she said, her voice steady as granite. I'm the partner you're announcing tonight. The words landed like a thunderclap, silencing the rooftop, the chandelier's light seeming to flicker in the stunned air. Richard's champagne glass trembled. Eleanor's jade necklace suddenly looked like a noose, and Ethan's phone wavered, his smirk gone. Victoria scoffed, her voice high with disbelief. You're with Okoye Global? The $1 billion partner? Amara nodded, her cufflinks glinting as she adjusted her stance. I am Okoye Global, Dr. Amara Okoye, CEO. The crowd gasped. Phones now blatant, capturing every angle as a finance reporter. Li Wei typed furiously on his tablet, recognizing her name from Forbes' top 50 power players. Ethan's stream hit 50,000, comments shifting. She's that Okoye? Chung's are screwed. Number Chung racist trending. Amara's phone buzzed a text from her COO, Lydia. She glanced at it, her expression unreadable, then spoke, her voice carrying across the rooftop like a verdict. I was to co-sign a $1 billion green energy deal with Chung Enterprises, but given this misunderstanding, I'm reconsidering. Richard stepped forward, his face pale, his boardroom polish cracking. Dr. Okoye, let's discuss this privately, he pleaded, his voice low. Amara's smile was steel, cold and unyielding. You made it public, Mr. Chung. I'll keep it that way. She dialed Lydia, her fingers moving with surgical precision, the call connecting on the first ring as the crowd held its breath. Lydia, execute the partnership withdrawal, she said, her voice clear, each word a hammer strike. Yes. The full $1 billion. Richard staggered, his hand gripping a glass railing for support. Eleanor clutched her necklace, her knuckles white, and Victoria's champagne glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the marble with a sound like a gunshot. Ethan's stream surged to 80,000, comments erupting. She's canceling $1 billion? Queen! Chung's owned! Li Wei's tablet glowed with a draft headline. Chung Gala implodes as Black CEO pulls $1 billion deal. Amara continued, her tone as calm as a quarterly report. Clause 19B of our agreement allows termination for reputational misalignment. Your actions tonight questioning my place, implying I'm the help, directing me to the service elevator void that trust. Victoria stammered, her voice cracking. We didn't mean... Amara cut her off, her eyes piercing. You did, and 80,000 people saw it. She turned to Richard, her voice dropping to a lethal whisper. I also hold 28% of Chung Enterprises stock, the largest single share. Monday, I'm calling an emergency board meeting to review your leadership. The crowd froze, the chandelier's light dimming in their wide eyes, the air thick with the weight of an empire teetering. Ethan's phone dropped, his stream now at 100,000, the hashtag number Chung racist trending globally. Amara faced the guards, her emerald gown catching the light like a beacon. I'll take the main elevator, she said, her tone final. And, Mr. Chung, I expect a public apology by Tuesday. Make it sincere, not performative. She walked toward the elevators, the crowd parting like a sea, her steps echoing on the marble, each one a declaration of power. Richard's face was ashen, Eleanor's hands trembled, Victoria's makeup smudged with unshed tears, and Ethan stared at his shattered phone screen, the digital storm he'd unleashed now a tsunami. Li Wei hit send on his article, the headline flashing across finance feeds. Chung Enterprises faces crisis as largest shareholder cancels $1 billion deal. As Amara entered the elevator, her gold cufflinks gleamed, and the doors closed on a gala that had become a reckoning. Hong Kong's skyline bearing witness to a black woman's voice rewriting the rules of power. Kowloon's community hub thrummed with a raw, electric energy, its brick walls plastered with hand-drawn posters, advertising, coding, boot camps, language classes, and robotics workshops, their vibrant colors clashing with the flickering fluorescent lights overhead. The air carried the sharp tang of solder, the faint buzz of a 3D printer churning in the corner, and the lively chatter of a diverse crowd: migrant workers, single parents, teens from public housing estates, all gathered for the Kowloon Tech and Culture Festival, a bold initiative funded by Dr. Amara Okoye's personal endowment in the wake of her dramatic confrontation at the Chung Enterprises Gala. The festival was a defiant response to the Chung family's elitism, a space where talent trumped wealth and ambition erased status lines. Amara stood on a low platform, her emerald scarf, a vivid echo of the gown she'd worn on that rooftop, her voice cutting through the hum of activity like a clear bell. We build skills. We share stories. We rise together, she declared, her Nigerian, British accent weaving seamlessly through a Cantonese translation provided by a volunteer interpreter, a retired teacher named Mrs. Chan. The room was a mosaic of innovation. Tables displayed a migrant workers app for affordable childcare, a teen's drone programmed to deliver groceries, and a multilingual poetry bot Amara had co-designed with a local coder, its screen glowing with verses in Yoruba, Cantonese, and Tagalog. At the back, Ethan Chung sat on a folding chair, his usual designer jacket replaced by a plain hoodie, a notebook open to Yoruba, phrases scrawled in his hesitant handwriting. After Amara's public dismantling of his family's prejudice, she demanded he learn a new language under her mentorship as a condition for their redemption, a humbling task for the 20-year-old heir who'd once mocked her on WeChat. "Say Karo," Amara instructed, pausing by his table. Ethan stumbled, his accent mangling the Yoruba greeting for "Good morning," earning a grin from a nearby kid tinkering with a circuit board. "Morning." "Not morning," Amara teased, her tone firm but laced with warmth, a teacher's nudge rather than a tycoon's scorn. Ethan tried again, his voice steadier, and Amara nodded. "Better. Keep at it." The kid clapped, and Ethan's cheeks flushed, not with shame but with a flicker of pride. A new sensation for someone used to buying applause. The festival was more than a showcase, it was a rebellion, a living rebuttal to the Chung family's assumption that places like their rooftop gala defined who belonged in Hong Kong's future. Amara had leveraged her 28% stake in Chung Enterprises to pressure them into funding this event, a platform to empower the city's overlooked cleaners, drivers, hawkers, and youth from estates like Kwun Tong. She moved through the crowd like a conductor, her emerald scarf trailing as she explained JavaScript to a Filipina maid in Tagalog, debugged a drone's code in English with a teen named Kai, and praised a poet's work in Cantonese, her greetings shifting effortlessly: Yoruba's E Karo, Arabic's Sabah al-Khair, Thai's Sawasdi. Each word made a stranger feel seen, their faces lighting up as if a door long locked had swung open. The hub was alive with possibility. A cleaner named Maria displayed an app that connected migrant workers to childcare services, its interface sleek despite her borrowed laptop. A retired driver, Mr. Wong, showed a traffic app that predicted bus delays with uncanny accuracy. A teen girl, Priya, presented a solar charger prototype, its panels cobbled from scavenged parts. Amara's own poetry bot recited a fusion of Cantonese and Yoruba verses, its algorithm drawing gasps from the crowd as it translated live, weaving cultures into a single thread. Outside, Hong Kong's elite were still reeling from the gala's fallout. Chung Enterprises stock had dipped 5% after Amara canceled the $1 billion green energy deal, and the hashtag number Chung Racist had hit 3 million impressions, fueled by Ethan's WeChat stream. now a digital albatross around his family's neck. Richard Cheung's public apology, posted on WeChat and viewed by 10 million, was labeled performative by bloggers, with comments like, "Too little, too late," and "Amara owns them now." At the festival, Amara's presence was a quiet storm. Her every move watched by attendees and a few reporters, including Li Wei, whose initial gala article had gone viral. He now scribbled notes, his tablet glowing with a new headline, "Black CEO's Festival Redefines Hong Kong's Tech Future." Oh great. The festival wasn't just about technology, it was about reclaiming narratives. Amara had invited service workers, students, and retirees to showcase their creations, proving that innovation wasn't confined to glass towers. Maria, the Filipina cleaner, stood nervously by her childcare app, explaining to a crowd how it saved her friends hours of searching for safe daycare. Kai, the teen with the drone, demonstrated its grocery delivery path, his hands steady despite his frayed sneakers. Priya's solar charger powered a small lamp, its light steady as her voice explaining its design. Amara paused at each table, asking questions, offering tweaks, her multilingual encouragements. Maganda! In Tagalog, Holeng! In Cantonese, building a bridge between dreams and reality. Ethan, still grappling with Yoruba, watched her, his notebook filling with phrases like, thank you. Amara had chosen Yoruba to teach him not just a language but a lesson in humility. Why Yoruba? He'd ask at their first session. Because it's mine, she'd replied. And you'll learn to respect what's not yours. His progress was slow, but his effort was earnest, a stark contrast to the brash heir who'd streamed her humiliation. The crowd included skeptics, executives from Cheung Enterprises, sent by Richard to monitor the PR stunt, as they called it. One, Linda Tsang, the CFO, whispered to a colleague, "This is a waste of capital. Shareholders want profits, not charity." Amara overheard but didn't flinch, instead inviting Linda to try coding a light sequence on a Raspberry Pi. Linda fumbled, her manicured nails clumsy on the keyboard, but when the light blinked, a nearby kid cheered, and Linda's scowl softened. "Mistakes are steps," Amara said, echoing her own mentor's words from years ago in Lagos. Linda scribbled a note, her skepticism wavering. Then, a jolt shook the hub's warmth. A banner showcasing Maria's childcare app was defaced, red spray paint scrawled across it. "Go back to your place." The words were a gut punch, their intent clear Maria's status as a migrant worker. Like Amara's blackness at the gala, marked her as an outsider. The crowd hushed, eyes turning to Amara, who stepped forward, her sneakers firm on the concrete floor. "We clean it," she said, her voice unshaken. "But we keep the stain to remember. This hub is ours, and we fix what's broken." Her mother, Grace, a former cleaner who'd become the festival's co-organizer, brought a bucket of paint remover, her hands steady from years of scrubbing floors. Ethan, to everyone's surprise, grabbed a cloth and joined her, scrubbing the banner with a focus that silenced the whispers around him. "This is wrong," he said, his voice carrying across the room. "This festival is for all of us, Maria, Kai, Mr. Wong. I'm sorry for what my family did." The crowd paused, then clapped, the sound building from hesitant to fervent. Maria, her eyes wet but defiant, hugged Amara, who whispered, "Your app will change lives." Li Wei typed furiously, "Chung Air apologizes at viral festival, signals shift." The banner, cleaned but faintly stained, was reframed with a caption, "Stained, restored, remembered." Amara's mentorship of Ethan was strategic, a chance to unlearn the privilege that had fueled his family's gala behavior. At a break, he showed her his Yoruba notes, his accent improving on Odabo. "Goodbye." "Why do this?" he asked, gesturing to the hub. "Because talent isn't owned by penthouses," Amara replied. "Your family thought it was. Now you see it's here." Ethan nodded, his usual bravado gone, replaced by a quiet resolve. The festival's success prompted Amara to announce 200 scholarships for participants, funded by Chung Enterprises under her pressure. Richard, attending reluctantly, watched Maria's app demo and muttered, "This could scale." Linda Tsang, still skeptical, protested the cost. Shareholders want ROI, not feel. Good projects. Amara's gaze was steel. Measure innovation, retention, and community impact in a year. The talent's here, not in your boardrooms. The festival closed with a showcase. Amara's poetry bot recited a Cantonese Yoruba fusion poem, its verses blending tales of Hong Kong's streets and Lagos's markets, drawing cheers. Kai's drone soared, delivering a mock package, and Priya's charger powered a fan, its hum a quiet triumph. Ethan, clutching his notebook, showed Amara a new phrase, "Mo fi, I want." She smiled. Want to build, not break. Next, verbs. And help Maria scale her app. As the hub emptied, Kowloon's neon lights glowed. But the real spark came from a brick-walled room where a black woman's vision was waking a city. One coder, one poet, one dream at a time. The Chung Enterprises Tower in Hong Kong no longer stood as a monument to untouchable wealth. Its rooftop, once a glittering stage for the city's elite, had been transformed into a vibrant community space, its chandeliers replaced by wooden tables carved with the names of local coders, poets, and workers who had passed through its doors. Photos lined the walls, each a snapshot of change. Grace Okoye, Amara's mother, teaching a coding workshop in a repurposed blazer. Maria, the Filipina cleaner, presenting her childcare app to a crowd. Ethan Chung, the once brash heir, mentoring teens in a language class, his hoodie now a badge of humility. At the heart of this transformation was the Amara Okoye Foundation for Inclusive Futures, launched with Amara's $500 million personal endowment, an independent entity governed by a board of community leaders, migrant workers, teachers, and activists, ensuring its mission remained untainted by corporate branding. Amara's 4 Pillars Protocol, name correctly, listen actively, empower equitably, sustain change, was etched into every aspect of Chung Enterprises, from glass, walled boardrooms, to factory floors, its words printed on name tags, posters, and even coffee mugs in the break rooms. The foundation had seeded 20 empowerment hubs across Hong Kong, from Kowloon to Lantau, offering free coding, robotics, and language classes, with service workers, cleaners, drivers, security guards earning certifications that counted as professional development, their study hours logged as paid work. Amara stood in one such hub, a converted warehouse in Sham Shui Po, its concrete walls alive with murals of circuits and poetry, her emerald scarf a beacon as she reviewed a tablet displaying metrics. Turnover at Chung Enterprises down 40%. Job applications up 60%. Safety incidents cut by 45%. Dignity isn't a gift, she said to a group of hub volunteers, her Nigerian-British accent clear through a Cantonese translator. It's a right we build, line by line, code by code. Ethan, now a regular at the hub, nodded from a nearby table, his notebook open to Yoruba verbs, his pen pausing as he absorbed her words, a far cry from the youth who'd mocked her on WeChat months ago. The foundation's impact was on full display at a public summit in Victoria Park, where thousands gathered under a canopy of banyan trees, their faces reflecting Hong Kong's diversity: Malay, Chinese, Filipino, Indian, all drawn by the promise of a new future. Amara took the stage, her sneakers firm on the wooden platform, her voice carrying over the hum of drones delivering summit programs. "We don't just build tech, we build trust," she said. Her words echoed in Mandarin, Tagalog, and English by volunteer interpreters. A cleaner named Wei shared how his logistics app, born in a hub workshop, had streamlined deliveries for a local market. saving vendors hours. A teen girl, Aisha, demonstrated her AI-powered translation bot, switching between Cantonese and Hindi, its accuracy drawing gasps. Richard Chung, no longer CEO but a board member, stepped forward, his Patek Philippe watch replaced by a simple leather band, a concession to his humbled role. "Equity drives profit," he said, his voice steady but softer than at the gala. He presented data. Customer satisfaction up 20%, error rates down 25%, and a 15% increase in innovation patents, all tied to the hub's talent pipeline. "This isn't charity, it's strategy," he added, echoing Amara's logic. The crowd clapped, but not without tension. Outside, protesters waved signs. "Tech for tycoons, not maids." A local blog, HK Finance Daily, had run a scathing piece. "Chung's social experiment bleeds billions." Amara addressed the critics directly, her gaze unflinching. "Doubt us? Visit a hub. Test the apps, meet the coders, then speak." A skeptical tech CEO, Victor Lam, attended a Sham Shui pose session, watching Wei's app rival corporate software. He left quietly, later funding a hub in Shenzhen, his company adopting Amara's 4 pillars. Inside Chung Enterprises, the protocol faced daily tests. A factory supervisor, flustered by deadlines, snapped at a cleaner-turned-coder. "Stick to sweeping, not scripts." The coder, May, followed the pillars. "My name is May. Your words dismiss my certified app. Join my hub session to see it work." The supervisor, red-faced, attended, later apologizing in a team meeting, his code now running May's app. External resistance persisted. A television pundit claimed, "Amara's forcing diversity quotas, killing merit." Amara countered with a town hall, letting hub graduates speak. Maria, the Filipina cleaner, said, "My childcare app saves lives. That's merit, not a quota." The crowd roared, drowning out skeptics. Li Wei, the finance reporter, wrote, "Okoye's hubs redefine merit in Hong Kong tech." The foundation's first graduation saw 100 workers earn tech diplomas, Grace calling each name with pride, her voice steady despite tears. A Vietnamese driver, Tran, choked up, "My daughter framed my certificate. She calls me a techie." Ethan, now a hub mentor, taught Yoruba to teens, his accent near fluent, his WeChat posts amplifying hub stories, a stark shift from his gala livestream. His latest post, "Learning to Listen," gained 2 million views, comments praising his growth. From brat to ally, market pressures tested the foundation's resolve. A major client, a logistics giant, threatened to pull a $200 million contract, citing Chung's woke pivot. Amara's team arrived with data. Delivery errors down 30%, employee retention up 35%. "We build trust," she said, her voice calm but ironclad. "If you want cheap labor, we're not your fit. If you want resilience, we are." The client stayed, swayed by numbers, not sentiment. The 4 pillars streamlined operations, cutting meeting times by 15%, unresolved tasks down 20%. A junior staffer posted a meme mocking Amara's translation bot, captioned, "AI can't replace elites." Traced via HR, the staffer faced discipline. 3 hub sessions, a co-written inclusion guide with Amara, and a public apology. The guide, Coding Respect, became mandatory onboarding. Hub spread to Macau and Taipei, with universities like HKU offering credits for classes. A professor noted, "Campuses teach theory. Hubs teach impact." Media softened. HK Finance Daily retracted its critique, citing measurable outcomes. A Malay mother wrote, "I coded my first app. My son says I'm his hero." Ethan faced Amara at a hub, his Yoruba phrase, "Moti Kor," I have learned, earning a nod. "Now teach it," she said, pointing to a teen coder. Amara's vision scaled. A national network linking hubs, libraries, and firms, branded only with participants' names. At a summit's close, she announced a $100 million expansion, funded by Chung Enterprises and new partners. Richard, now a hub volunteer, spoke. "I misread wealth as power. Amara taught us trust is stronger." A car slowed as Amara and Grace walked home, a voice sneering, "Stay in your lane." Amara handed Grace a card, her handwriting bold. "Dignity builds futures." In Sham Shui Po, Ethan conjugated Yoruba verbs, teens cheering his progress. The skyline glowed, but the brightest light was a warehouse, where a black woman's voice reshaped Hong Kong. One coder, one name, one dream at a time.